Hello again, NBA fans, and welcome into our NBA Roundtable. My name is Matt Eppers. I am a digital producer at USA Today Sports, and I am joined, as always, by my colleague, NBA reporter Jeff Zillgitt. We are going to run through some of the big stories in the NBA headlines right now, and we start in Portland, where after years of speculation, the Blazers have broken up their longtime backcourt duo. They're trading C.J. McCollum to the New Orleans Pelicans, along with Larry Nance Jr. and Tony Snell. Real quick, Jeff, can you give us the details on this trade?
Yeah, from Portland's perspective, they're looking for the future to try to still continue to build around Damian Lillard. That's the plan. There seems to be no indication from what I'm hearing that they want to tear this down completely and trade Damian Lillard. The idea is to accumulate assets. They feel that they're getting a pretty solid return from the Pelicans, getting Josh Hart, getting Nickeil Alexander-Walker, getting a potential first-round pick, and at some point, a second-round pick. They also feel that they're creating salary cap space and a traded player exception that they can be a player in free agency in the summertime and attract the kind of players that makes them better.
And then from New Orleans' perspective, they've quietly gotten back into the play-in race in the Western Conference. Jeff, how do you see McCollum, fitting in with the Pelicans now and then later when he's presumably at some point playing alongside Zion Williamson?
So let's take the first part of that. He certainly helps their chances right now of getting into the play-on game. And I do think that's important for New Orleans, even without Zion Williamson on the court. But if we're going to take this the next step further, really this is all about having a healthy Zion Williamson on the court with Brandon Ingram, with Jonas Valanciunas, with C.J. McCollum, with Devontae Graham. That's the kind of starting five that they want to put on the court for that Pelicans team. And if you give me that starting five right there, that's a pretty decent starting five that you feel can compete not only for a play-in spot, but the way things change so quickly in the NBA with a couple moves that give you a little bit more depth, you move up a little bit in the standings, and now all of a sudden you're looking at a chance to compete for the top six in the Western Conference. I think that was the situation New Orleans was looking at when they drafted Zion. It hasn't gone exactly the way they wanted it to. The path has not been very direct. And I say that it all really depends on Zion Williamson's health, whether he comes back healthy at some point this season or he misses all of the season and comes back healthy next season. That's really how we're going to evaluate this trade, is how C.J. McCollum looks on the floor when Zion Williamson is also on the court.
So let's shift our focus over to the Eastern Conference, and the Brooklyn Nets are stumbling a bit. They were at the top of the Eastern Conference for much of the first half of the season. They have fallen on some hard times in recent weeks. Kevin Durant's been out with an injury. Does this sort of underscore just how important Kevin Durant is for their championship hopes?
Well, that's it right there. When you talk about the reason for that Nets decline right now, Kevin Durant is not in the lineup. He's out right now. They're expecting him back after All-Star weekend at some point. But then you also have James Harden has been in and out. Obviously, we know Kyrie Irving's situation, that he cannot play in home games because he's not vaccinated, and New York City mandate states he needs to be in order to play in games in Barclays Center. Some consistency within that. What you don't have with this Brooklyn Nets team is any kind of consistency right now. And they're also missing Joe Harris. I know that's not as big as missing Kevin Durant, but he's certainly been a key player for them, especially when it comes to stretching the court, shooting the three ball. And when you take into consideration all these things, and then, whether it's rumors, trade talks surrounding the team, it's a very difficult situation. Brooklyn is, they're facing a real difficult situation when you talk about their post-All-Star run. We're going to be late February when that happens. And then by the time you get to March, you have about 5.5 weeks left of the regular season. And that's when teams are really going to make their push. What that Nets team looks like and how they're playing, that's going to weigh heavily on them, and it's going to play a big factor where they end up in seedings and what kind of chance they have to make a deep run in the playoffs.
Hey sports fans, if you want to see more videos like this, check out some of our other ones right here. And if you like what you see, make sure to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more from USA Today Sports.